Right, everyone, here we are. Welcome back to another day in the life. It isn't going to be an in-depth one today, as on the days I have work, it never really is. And I usually work from Thursday to Sunday. The day is Saturday today, so we've got another day tomorrow of work. So today's day in the life and tomorrow's day in the life is not going to be very in depth at all, and I do apologize for that. I apologize for that every single time because I want to be making longer form sort of content whilst also keeping quality as well. But obviously, if I'm not able to do both because I have work, it is annoying. But trust the process, and all good things will come in the end. It's just about trusting the process and doing what we can with the time we do have. So I'm gonna do anything else we needed to do. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown as well. I went to work. I got back home. You saw I had another meal. I also ended up getting on, having a shower as well, doing the editing for the day in the life, the mindset lesson, the quote of the day, and a new one now. I do Bible verse of the day for my Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. I've also edited a reel and posted that. I also ended up posting the day in the life and doing the thumbnail for that. And I've also ended up posting the day in the life snippet as well. So we've done all the tasks we've needed to today, other than the main things which I like to record, which is the evening planning, the mindset lesson / quote of the day, and then doing the reading and meditation and ending off. That's basically it, and that's basically what most of the tasks you're going to be seeing on the days I do work until things change. So yeah, we're going to change actually the thing we do today. Instead of going over the mindset lesson / quote of the day, I'm going to do something new. There was a comment from someone on my last video asking a couple questions about a certain topic, and I'm going to go over that and I'm going to answer his question. And if you have any other questions you want to ask me, any mindset questions, etc., then shoot for it. And instead of doing the mindset / the quote of the day, sometimes I could instead just answer some questions, and then then the other days do the quote of the day and the mindset lesson. But today I'm gonna have a break from that, and I'm gonna, instead of giving the lesson and the quote of the day, go over the questions and the comments that the guy asked, because I feel like it's necessary and it's really a question I've been asked before, so I'd love to go over it. So before we do so, I'm going to go brush my teeth, do my skin, do the planning, and then we can move on to that. So we're going to start off with the evening planning, and we're going to start off with the tick list. Did I complete everything I said I was going to do today? And I do believe I did today, which is brilliant. Yet again, I'm pretty sure it's 3 days in a row where where it's going to be 100% completion rate. Real banging, bedtime banging, content banging, habits banging. Wow, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that's amazing. 3 days of 100% completion. We're really nailing down on this. It's improvement, right? I'm a mentally strong individual. I believe I'm also a physically strong individual in my capabilities and my knowledge and what to do with my work and stuff. But sometimes I'm not always completing everything every single day. But it's just about trusting the process over time, and then you eventually, through doing it long enough, you will just flow into a pattern where every day you're smashing it because you've done it for so long. Experience really builds character. It's really, really key in actually gaining any knowledge of anything. Like when you start out, you're not good at something. The more you do it, the more you practice, the longer you do it for, the better at it you get, the more consistent at it you get, and the more knowledge you gain from it. So that's the key. It's the key of consistency and improvement. And today's summary: focused, hardworking day. Great energy. Keep it up. Just a simple summary for tonight. I had some good energy today when I was completing tasks, bouncing from one task to another task. I was smashing it tonight, and I've got to keep that same energy for the rest of my days, to come, with working hard and stuff. And yeah, everything I've got to do tomorrow. We've got work from 7 till 2:30. We're on a longer shift tomorrow, so we'll see what happens with filming, but I will try my best nonetheless. And if not, we will work even harder going into the new week with more detail and more depth, as that is always the key going into a new week on the days I'm not working. But yeah, editing for the day in the life. I've got to edit this one and post it tomorrow. I've got to film tomorrow's day in the life as the day goes on. I've also got to do the mindset lesson / quote of the day / Bible verse of the day. Now we also do. I love adding that in. It's really beautiful. And a reel I would love to get done. The day in the life sneak peek. 1 or 2 more meals. And yeah, I believe that's all, other than the usual habits, reading and meditation. So what we're going to get to now is, instead of the mindset lesson / quote of the day, we're going to end off, or before we end off, I've got reading and meditation, but relatively end off with speaking. I'm going to answer a couple questions, like I said before, from a comment that I got. So let's do that now before we move on to the reading, the meditation, and then ending off. Right, as I said, we're going to be answering some questions. I've got 3 of them written down here, which he asked me to cover, and I hope some of this could resonate with you. And I'm going to do this completely raw, no plan, no script. I'm just going to go straight into it, as I always do with speaking and with my mindset lesson and the quote of the day. So the first question I've uncovered here is how one can overcome the feeling of loneliness. And I don't think there's truly any way of genuinely overcoming loneliness other than understanding that being alone, there actually is a lot of peace in it. And if you can fall in love with that state of being alone and working on yourself as an individual, you actually find a lot of peace. And peace is one of the best things in the world. If you really are trying to chase what other people are doing, and the sort of things they're doing, and not focusing on yourself, you've realised that the one thing you're probably missing is peace of mind, peace of whatever. And a lot of the time I've found that peace when I've been by myself. Yeah, it feels isolating. Yes, it feels lonely. Of course it's lonely because you're by yourself, right? That's the terminology of being alone, it's being by yourself. But if you can learn that that's okay, and that if you can learn to be by yourself and love being by yourself sometimes, like for me, I'm weird because I'm sitting in my room right now, I'm by myself. Yes, it's lonely, I'm sitting here in front of a camera, but the peace of silence and just being alone and just being in my thoughts, it can actually be a really lovely feeling. I personally love that feeling of peace. I know it's hard for some. So how to overcome this loneliness? I don't think you really can. Just try and learn to love being alone, loving that your own peace in your own space, and also understand you're not going to be alone forever. Of course you're not. It's just about where you are. It's just about what you're doing in your life, and it might require you to have to be isolated. It might require you to have to be at that state where you feel alone, especially when you feel as if you're trying your best with the people around you. It could be friends, it could be loved ones, your people who you like, etc. And if you feel like they're drifting away, and that's your loneliness, you feel as if the people around you are just drifting away and you feel alone. And even if you have people around you, you still feel alone, even if you have people around you. I know it's a tough feeling, but I promise you will get through it. And I don't think there's any true sort of way in which you can stop that loneliness. Obviously you can try and force relationships, you can try and force friendships, but in the long run, they're not really going to be your friends, or they're going to end up in relationships you don't want to be in. So trust the process, trust that being alone is part of the journey. Try and fall in love with it, and the more you fall in love with it, the better it will get, the more peaceful your life will be, and peace is truly what you want, I promise you that. So that's the first question. The next one would be the feeling of being left behind. And for me, this was one of the biggest things to overcome. At my age, I'm still only 18. I've been doing this since 16, 17 of working hard and doing all this self-improvement stuff. And the biggest thing I found was, because I'm young, everyone around me, partying, drinking, doing things that, as human beings, we probably shouldn't be doing, but is seen as natural at such a young age, taking certain things and going partying and doing whatever. I was feeling like I was being left behind because I wasn't doing that, or I have never done those sort of things. I have this feeling of being, missing out, especially fear of missing out. It's a big thing nowadays, and I don't know. But I think what I had to understand was the path I have taken is a good path, and if the path you are taking is a good path, if it's a good path filled with good habits, good self-improvement, then you're on the right path. That's the way to solve being left behind, because a lot of the people who are leaving you behind are doing bad things. So that actually staying away from them and being left behind is a good thing, especially if you are on a good track. So understand that being left behind is a good thing. You're not being left behind. You're leaving them behind. You're on the good path. They're on the bad one. And you will find other people on the good one. It's just about time and trusting the process. But being left behind by people you love, I think this guy maybe interpreted it in this way. Being left behind by people you like, and then who end up moving on to others instead of you. I know that's hard. I don't want to be that guy who says there's plenty more fish in the sea. I'm really not that guy. I understand that thought of love. Of course, I've had it myself as well. I'm not just a bland, instilled individual who has no emotional thought. Of course, I still do, but I feel like you learn the hard way. It really takes having to see someone with someone else that you like to realise that fuck, this is hard, but instead of, making it worse for myself, isolating myself with sad music and trying to dwell on it, instead use that energy, that sadness of being left behind by the people you like or love, use that as motivation to push in your life. Use that to go up and go to the gym. Use that to start bettering a good life. And then one day they will look back on the life you have built for yourself, and they will regret the fact that they left you. So that's what you got to do. It's the sweetest revenge, right? It's the improvement of yourself. It's to make yourself look better than you once were. So then now they regret the fact that they went away from you. Okay, don't chase it. Don't try and chase and retract it back. If it's meant to be, it will be. But a lot of the time it isn't. Just use that energy to work harder and improve yourself. And for the last one, how to get hope back when things aren't going well. And it's really hard. The best way I can describe it is you're going to face challenging things. The fact that things aren't going the way you want them is a good thing. Struggle is a good thing. It means a lot of the time that you're on a good path. It's the devil. This is the thing. If you were on a very, very bad path, the devil's not going to tempt you because you're on a bad path already. He already sees you on a bad path. He's not going to try and bring you off it because he already knows you're on a bad path. If you're on a good path and you've got a good head on your shoulders and suddenly things aren't just going the way that you want them to, that's a good thing sometimes. That's the devil trying to tempt you. It's trying to bring you away from the good path you're on because he sees you on a good path. This is the way I see it. I get tempted all the time. I have things not going my way all the time. But you just got to look at it as it's part of the journey, and the fact that you should be grateful for the bad things. Be grateful for the fact that things aren't always going your way, because it's going to make you a stronger person in the long run. If you had everything easy and everything was easy and you can go from point A to point B like this straight through, then when you get there, you're not going to be fulfilled. You're going to be mentally weak. You would have not been through much experience. So those struggles, the fact that everything's not really going your way, is just part of the journey. And to counter that and to actually get hope back, as to answer this question, how to get hope back here, it would be to understand that it's okay, you're going to face challenges, but understand that if you're actually putting in action, especially if it's positive action, self-improvement to better your life in the long run, then all the bad things that are going on and the hope that you feel you may have lost is just short term. But again, it really depends who you are. I'm trying to speak to an audience who, does good habits, tries to stay away from bad things, is a self-improvement sort of individual. If you're not that, it's really, really hard to suggest anything other than trying to pick up good habits, trying to pick up self-improvement, and through doing so, I promise you that it will fix a lot of the problems, and a lot of the questions and a lot of the answers you are looking for will be fixed just by picking up good things in your life. It will really better your mind, and it will answer a lot of the questions that you want the answers to. For example, how to find hope. Well, when you start doing good things, your life starts to get back on track. You start to gain hope. Things start to, go well. So I would say, if you're someone on self-improvement, I would say to get hope back is to understand that these roadblocks, these challenges you are facing are just part of the journey. But if you're someone who is on self-improvement, understand that these challenges are needed for you to become stronger in the end. If you had it easy, there'd be nothing in that. It wouldn't be valuable. That end result of that good feeling, that hope, it wouldn't be valuable. It wouldn't be worth it anything if it was easy to obtain. The fact that it's hard to obtain, the fact that it's hard to have a good life is a good thing. It means you're going to be stronger in the end, and it'll make it all better in the end. So I hope that answers the questions. That's me doing it raw off the spot, unedited. I hope it helped. So what we're going to get to now is reading, meditation, and I'm going to get to bed and refresh and wake up tomorrow with a fresh new mind to tackle the day.